Good morning. How's it going this morning? This is Keith Neal, your creativity coach for Morning Cup of Keith. And wanted to go over something that I think is really important, and that is that there's so much going around in our lives that really tries to pit us against each other. It's like there's always this like us versus them. There's always this like there's two parties. Nothing else matters, and both are warring against each other. There's always war going on. Whether it's like a military type war, whether it's a war against you and people you disagree with, or whether it's a war between in your mind, stuff like that. End your war. Take that war, end it, complete that war. And I know it may sound easy to say that and hard to go, well, how do I do that? Is you're going to start with what you know best, and that's you. If you don't know yourself best, learn how to know who you are and what your skills and abilities are and what you can do to be an ally and not an enemy. So an ally versus an enemy. What can you do? And being united, just like the series I just wrapped up, being united is so key. And I know a lot of people can say that's not possible. What I loved hearing a story about where this group went and brought these people in. They didn't say what their backgrounds were. They just said, this is their name, and you guys are going to work on this project together. And then they all worked on these projects together, and they completed it. They had a really good success in building together. And then they all took them separately and told them the backgrounds of every one of these people, what they believe in, and all these different things. And then they asked them, would they like to go and reconnect with them now that they know these things that may be very polar opposite from what they believe or know? And they say, yeah, I want to just ask them some questions. I want to see them again. That's amazing. Is when we take and when we go and we don't have any assumptions, we go in there and we work on something together. And then through that action, or maybe later on, we hear of their differences, but yet we still worked together. And we still had a unifying time together and building together. And that's what we need to do. It's really important. I think it's just something that is just so needed in our life. So let's unify, let's come together, and let's stop finding excuses when it comes to come together to work together. Like that us versus them. Well, I don't agree with what they do, so I'm not going to do this. That's elementary school thinking. Really, when it comes down to it, little toddlers could do that. Let's be grown-ups. Let's grow up. Let's live. I think the word adulting is always I've heard as some kind of thing. Just unify, just work together. And I mean, if there's something where they're a terrible person, they've done some awful things, but what if they've done those things and they want to be forgiven for those things that they've done? That's another thing too that we want to really give another chance, or give more than second chances. Christ talked about how, the disciples asked Christ how many times to forgive their brother. And it was multiple times. It was just onward to forever, basically. So he forgave us. We should forgive others too. But also we should understand why they believe that way. Because when it comes to the Democrat-Republican thing, it's really interesting how both parties have a goal to do the similar thing, but they do it differently. And it doesn't mean one way is better than the other. Sometimes there's ways where there's all this money thrown at something, but it gets nowhere. So these are things to look at and understand, and know that we need to, that unifying, working together, get rid of that us versus them mentality, throw that out into the trash, and just work on coming together in unity and working for the greater good. Because there's going to be a time where you're going to be called to that. You're going to be called to, if we don't get all together, we're going to be, we'll lose. And if you can see, a lot of what's been going on in our world is trying to pit us against each other. Everybody's being waged against each other while these really evil, corrupt people are doing things over here. And they don't like us. And they want us to crumble and fail and crash and be destroyed. And I know that sounds conspiratorial, but it's true. It's a true thing. And so what do you do with that? Well, you unify and become, and you're more than they are. And it doesn't mean you go off and you battle them, but what you do is you hold strong and you hold a shield around you that you can be protected from that. So hope that helps. Thanks so much for watching this. And I hope you guys are having a great week. And Thanksgiving is soon. And so I hope you have a blessed and amazing Thanksgiving. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, subscribe, like, and share. and hit the notification bell. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. All right. Have a great rest of your day.